Gloria in excelsis Deo, et in terra paz omnibus bone voluntatis. Laudamus Te, benedicimus Te, adoramus glorificamus Te, gratias agimus Dei.
On the death of Saint Dominic. In making this video, I mainly relied on the book The Life of Saint Dominic and a Sketch of the Dominican Order. I'll have a link in the description where you can find a copy of it. Our beloved founder died on August 6, 1221, the feast of Saint Sixtus II. He had known that God was going to call him home. Shortly before his death, he prolonged his night's prayer and entered a deep tranquility. Unusually, he felt himself overcome with a powerful emotion of desire to be united with God. Then a beautiful youth appeared to him and called his name. This youth said, "Dominic, my well-beloved, come to the nuptials, come." From what we can infer, he was given the grace to know he would soon be united with his most beloved, God. By the time of August 6th, a sudden change occurred in his appearance. He began to age more rapidly, showing signs of hair turning gray, and the effects of the weather could be seen to wear him down. He returned to Bologna on August 6th, coming from Venice, and he decided to preach with more fervor than he had ever done before, knowing soon he would be taken. Even with the oncoming sickness, St. Dominic stayed up till midnight talking with the prior of the convent of St. Nicholas and the other brothers. Then he proceeded to the church and stayed there into prayer until the office of matins. Blessed Jordan of Saxony tells us this was the only time he ever rested during the office. After the hours of matins, he finally let the fever overtake him. The brother, seeing this, asked to take him to a brother's bed, as he had none. He refused. As he laid on the floor, stretched out, his head was swimming with the pain of this malady. But his desire to preach could not be swayed, and he called all the brothers to him for one last sermon. It should be noted that never in his final moments did his aura of sweetness, joy, and cheerfulness dissipate. When St. Dominic fell gravely ill, his fellow friars took him to Santa Maria de' Monti, outside the city, hoping the change of air might help. But our saint knew his time had come. Gathering the community around him, he gave them his last words. "Have charity in your hearts, practice humility after the example of Jesus Christ, and make your treasure of the voluntary poverty. You know that to serve God is to reign, but you must serve him in love and with a whole heart." Then, when the rector of Santa Maria suggested he might be buried there if he died in their convent, Dominic replied with energy, "Look well to it that I am buried nowhere but under the feet of my brethren. Carry me away from here, and let me die in that vineyard." Though they feared he would die on the journey, the friars carried him back to the convent of St. Nicholas, through the fields, wrapped in woolen sacking, and weeping as they went. Having no cell of his own, Dominic was placed in Brother Montia's room. As he lay dying, surrounded by his grieving spiritual sons, he comforted them. "Do not weep, my children. I shall be more useful to you where I am now going than I have ever been in this life." When asked again about his burial, he repeated, "Under the feet of my brethren." Even in his final moments, he insisted on being placed on ashes on the floor rather than on a bed. He made his confession to Father Ventura and gave thanks to God for preserving him in perfect virginity. As the friars began the prayers for the dying, reciting, "Suvenit Sancti Dei, occurrit Angeli Domine, suscipientes anima eius, offrentes eam in conspectuo altissimi." Come to his aid, saints of God, hasten, angels of the Lord, receiving his soul and offering it before the Most High. Dominic stretched his arms toward heaven and expired.